FPGA development board that we will use is basically the Zyboss G7010 board. It is basically belong to the Zinc 7000 family. Now first let's watch some features and overview of the board. As I mentioned earlier, it belongs to the Xilinx Zinc 7000 family. It has two parts. Zinc AP 7010 has two parts. One is the PS, means processing system, and the other is the PL, programmable logic. Programmable logic basically means the FPGA part, and the PS means processing system part. Some FPGA has processor and some FPGA don't have the processor. This FPGA Zinc 7010 has the processor on it. Now the processor is basically dual core processor, 650 MHz dual core Cortex A9 processor. It has DDR3 memory controller with 8 DMA channels, direct memory access channels, high bandwidth peripherals, controller, Ethernet and USB, SDIO. Also it has peripheral of SPI, UART, I2C, CAN. Now the basic building block of FPGA is basically the lookup tables, and from lookup tables slices are made, and from these slices CLBs are made. CLBs basically consist of some inputs, some flip-flop, output and multiplexer. This FPGA have basically 4400 logic slices, each with 6 input lookup tables and 8 flip-flops. Now these are some features of the FPGA, but main part is basically the development board and its IO pins. So first of all, here let's look at the IO pins of the board. Here, as you can see, we have 4 switches. These switches are basically the user switches. We can define these switches as the input, and the pins of these switches, as we can see here, is G15, P15, W13 and T16. It is basically the T16 and W13. Okay, and here we have 4 user LEDs, and these LEDs are connected to the pin M14, M15, G14 and D18. We can use these 4 LEDs as output. Here we have 2 red push buttons. These are basically the reset button of PS and PL. This button here is whenever we press this button, the processing system becomes reset, and whenever we press this right side button, the programmable logic becomes reset. And here we have the chip, Zinc processing system chip. As you can see, Zinc XC7010. This is basically the processing chip. Now here, this is the done LED. Whenever we upload the bit file or whenever we program the FPGA, this done LED becomes high. This LED indicating us that our FPGA becomes programmed. And here is the power switch button of the FPGA. In order to turn on the FPGA, we need to slide this push button, slide this button to up. The FPGA becomes on, and this is basically the power button, and this is basically the power socket, which is basically 5 volts. We can power on this development kit through this Android jack, which supports 5 volts. So we can turn on the FPGA from here, and so now let's start our first project, which is basically the half adder, and with the passage of time we will implement more projects on this development kit. So let's go towards the tool to program this FPGA. Now we are going to implement our half adder circuit on our FPGA board. So in order to program the half adder circuit on FPGA board, the tool which we are using is ISE Xilinx 14.7. So now first we need to create the project. Go to the file, new project, you can type any name here, but the best practice is to type the name of your project which you are going to implement. For example, we are going to implement the half adder circuit, so half adder circuit, and HDL, because hardware definition language, we are programming in HDL. So next, as we discussed earlier, the board which we are using is Zybo board, and it belongs to the Zinc family, and you can see here board Zinc and device XC7010. Click next. Here is the summary of the project. Now finish. Our project is created. Now we need to add the source file of the projects, means those files which basically define our project and test our project and implement our project on our board. So basically we require 3 source files here. We need to add 3 source files. One is the programming file or Verilog file. The second is basically the test bench file to verify our logic or our code through simulation. And the third is basically the UCF file or user constraint file. This UCF file is basically we required in order to implement the project on the FPGA board on hardware side. So first we need to create the source file of Verilog or programming file. So you just need to right click here, new source. You need to add this Verilog module and name this module as half adder. Again, you can type any name here, but the best practice is to type the name of the project which you are going to implement, as we are going to implement the half adder, so I named it as half adder. Next. Now there are 2 ways to define the inputs and outputs. Either you can define here, or output and output sum carry. As we discussed earlier, our half adder circuit is basically this. We have 2 inputs and 2 outputs. 2 inputs, you can type any name here, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, any, and our 2 outputs, sum and carry. And we need to create XOR gate and AND gate. So either you define your inputs and outputs here, as you will see next. Finish. So this is the basically Verilog file or programming file we just created. And the second way is basically we can type our inputs and outputs here manually. For example, I remove this here and I manually type input A, input B, output sum and output carry, and assign, we are assigning sum is basically equals to A XOR P, and assign carry is equals to A and B. Now we are going to add our second file, the test bench file, in order to verify our logic through simulation. So again, right click here, new source, Verilog test fixture. Okay, you can type any name here, but I'm writing half adder test bench TB. Next, yes, associate file this half adder. Next, finish. This file is created, but we need to do some changes here. Here the inputs define A is equals to 0, B is equals to 0, but we have 4 cases, like we can see here: input 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. So I'm deleting this line and also this line. Copy and paste 0, 0, 0, 1, 1 0 1 and 1. So all our cases defined here, inputs 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. Save this file, and we need to go here simulation, and this test bench file, click here. First of all, need to check the syntax. Syntax is clear. Now simulate behavioral model. So here is the result. First of all, when our inputs are 0 0, sum is 0 and carry is also 0. Okay, so when our inputs are 0 0, sum is also 0 and carry is also 0. When our inputs are 0 1, sum is 1 and carry is 0. Inputs are 0 and 1. As you can see, carry is 0 and sum is 1. Okay, so when our inputs are 1 0, again sum is 1 and carry is 0. Inputs are now 1 and 0, sum is 1 and carry is 0. When our both inputs are 1 1, sum is 0 and carry is 1. When our both inputs are 1 and 1, our carry is 1 and our sum is 0, means our logic is 100% right. Now we are going to implement this logic on our FPGA board with the help of the UCF file, user constraint file. We will need to add another source file, which is basically .ucf file, in order to implement this logic on the hardware side, means FPGA development board. So our logic is verified. So our logic is correct. Now we are going to implement it on the hardware FPGA development board. So just click here, no, and also yes. Go to the tool, and we will need to add the another file, means .ucf file or user constraint file. Go to the implementation, because we are now implementing it on the hardware side. Click here .v file. First we will need to synthesize, but as you can see here, user constraint file. Click here and click here. User constraint file basically define the input pins and output pins or LEDs of the board. So I'm clicking here. Yes. Basically we are going to define the input pins and output pins through the UCF file. Close this and go to the schematic. There is the schematic diagram of our half adder circuit. Click here for IO ports. We have 4 input-output ports, in which we have 2 inputs and 2 outputs. So before defining the input-output pins, let's go to the user manual of this Zybo Z7 board, and here these 4 switches are user switches, and these 4 LEDs are the user LEDs. Means these 4 switches, as we have 2 inputs, so we are going to define any 2 switch as inputs, and we are going to define any 2 LEDs as output. So zooming it, as you can see, switch name G15, P15, W13 and T16. These are the pins of these 4 switches: G15, P15, W13 and T16. And we have 4 LEDs: M14, M15, G14 and D18. So any 2 LEDs of these 4 LEDs I will define on my UCF file, and any 2 switch I will define on my UCF file. So the G15 and P15, I will use these switches, G15 and P15. These are my inputs. So let's define here G15 and P15. These are my inputs, and my outputs will be, I'll define the sum pin is basically M15 and the carry pin is basically M14. So sum pin is M15, some LED, sorry, not pin but the LED, and M14. Alright, click here next, and the voltage level is of these pins are basically 3.3 volts. So we will need to select the LB CMOS 33. Here you can see 3.3 volt. Now save this file, and it will automatically add the UCF file on your project. We will see here, as you can see, .ucf file, user constraint file, automatically added here, and I am double clicking here to see this file. Here we can see the input A is associated with G15, input B is associated with P15, sum is associated with M15, and carry is associated with M14, and the voltage standard 3.3 volts. So I'm saving this file. Go here. Now I am going to create the bit file, generating programming file. This generate programming file will give us the bit file, which we will basically upload on our FPGA board. So I'm double clicking here to generate the bit file. It will take some time. It will first translate the code, then map the code on FPGA, then placing and routing. This process is basically very important. Our bit file is generated. Now we need to connect the FPGA board to the PC. FPGA board is connected. Now configured target device, double click here and press OK. Go to the boundary scan and right click here and select the initialize chain option. The board is detected. Press yes. Bypass and cancel. Click here XC7 set 010 board. Click here and add new configuration file. We will need to add basically the bit file here, the programming file or the bit file. Click here, open, and now as you can see here, the file is opened here. Now we are going to program this. Click this and press OK. Our FPGA is programmed successfully. This is our FPGA development board Zybo Z710, and here we can see the green LED becomes high, which basically the done LED, which indicates us that the bit file is uploaded or the FPGA is programmed. And the red light is basically the power LED, means which tells us the FPGA is on. Here we have our input switches and our output LEDs. The input switches are connected to the pins G15, P15, W13 and T16, and the output LEDs are connected to the pins M14, M15, G14 and D18. The input switches that we selected are basically G15 and P15, and the output LEDs we selected basically M14 and M15, in which M14 is the carry LED and M15 is the sum LED. Now when any one of the input goes high, the sum LED means M15 LED becomes high. So we are basically implementing, as we implemented the half adder. So here at this stage of time 0-0 logic implemented. When I applied the 0-1 logic, the sum LED, which is basically the M15 LED becomes high. Here you will see I will 0-1 logic applied and sum LED becomes high. Now I am again low this input and 0-1 applied. Now 1-0 LED, 1-0 input I applied, sum LED again high. Now again turn low this input. Now when I will apply the 1-1 logic, the carry LED becomes high. Here you will see the carry LED becomes high. Hence the truth table of the half adder is verified through our logic. So this is for today, inshallah. So this is for today. This is for today. If you like the video, if you like the video, so subscribe our channel and do comment. And so this is for today, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.